Okay, thanks for joining us for this latest COA webinar. Very happy to be chatting to two brothers, Axel and Ario Doroli, who travel the world creating immersive soundscapes and visual experiences, all to do with nature. And they're here to tell us all about what they do and what they've got coming up and their next project. So, Axel, Ario, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll kick things off. So, how did you first connect with wildlife in the first place? What makes you interested in that? Is that something from childhood?
Well, we both grew up in Italy, in Trieste, our hometown, and we had a big garden, but we didn't really connect with birds back then, right? We had the birds, we knew the basic, great tit, but we never really got that interested back then. But we were always in the garden doing something, so we were outdoors, let's say. And then, well, personally, when I moved to London to become a famous DJ, I went to study sound engineering at SAE, which is the School of Audio Engineering. And while studying, I got obsessed with spatial audio, which is this technique to record sounds in 360, in three dimensions. And while practicing recording in 360 outside in London, I recorded a dawn chorus one morning when I was 25, 26 years old. And that moment was like, oh, wow, that sounds really, really cool. These birds, they got something special. And that's where the whole thing started for me personally. It initially in soundscapes of wildlife, and then it got more and more into birds because they are the things that make most sound in Europe, really. So that was the reason for me. Yeah.
Well, let's say that when we were young, we were playing a lot outside together, football, basket, but we're not interested, as Axel said, in nature. For me personally, was when I was in university in Brescia, near Milan, in Italy, and I was doing graphic design. At a certain point, I felt the concrete jungle around me more and more prominent in my life, and more claustrophobic. And then I saw the forest as a path to see a more clear horizon. So that kickstarted this interest in nature, and then I saw this kind of birds, and then I saw my connection with nature was quite nice because it was all about the interest in nature, and what they're eating, what species they are, and then that started everything.
So yeah, that brings us on to present day, and of course your two projects that you've been working on, the Astounding Wild and the Wings Across Continents. So could you tell us a bit more about those projects and why you chose to create them and in the format that you have done?
So Sounding Wild started as a brand for me to work in the wildlife natural history documentary field and start doing work on sound for films and different experiences. So that Sounding Wild is a bit like the mothership, the brand. And then in 2019, after a trip to Cambodia, I had the call of going to West Africa and to do something a bit more crazy in terms of like with my life. I wanted to record birds all the time. I wanted to have the equipment with me all the time. And I was like, well, I want to go to West Africa. The birds are incredible there. Music is amazing. I love music. And I was like, and I called Ario and I was like, dude, want to come? I'm not sure. I wasn't sure yet what was going to happen. I was like, Ario, do you want to come to West Africa and we just leave in the car and travel? And well, he jumped in.
And in 3 seconds, I say, okay,
Yeah.
good, let's go.
So that was
The rest
the
is
beginning.
history, as we say. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning, and then we developed the story because we didn't want to do something just let's go and record something. We wanted to have a theme and create something, and we also felt they wanted to share with local people what they have on their doorstep, because that's, we realized that that's how we connected to nature, thanks to the animals that we had around us, not necessarily the elephants or the the tropical animals on in another continent. The animals that were here let us connect to nature. So we created Wings Across Continents together, which is was this 1.5 years expedition following the East Atlantic Flyway down the west coast of Europe and Africa. And every month we would stop at a migration hotspot. We would collaborate with local NGOs to find the migratory birds that are in that migratory hotspot. And then we would spend 2 weeks in the field. And we will do all this in our 4x4 vehicles, so living full time in our 4x4 vehicles, equipped with all the water filtration system, cooking, fridge, all our equipment. 2 weeks in the field, capture the stories, and then at the end, we will create on the spot a documentary, or 10 minutes documentary about the local migratory birds with the footage that we just captured. And we will share it using virtual reality headsets and a 10 loudspeaker system. That's what we've been doing. We've done for 1.5 years, from the UK up to Guinea-Bissau.
Creating these amazing immersive. I mean, I've tried it myself. I was lucky enough to try it at Bird Fair, and it's a fantastic experience. I mean, so you've been to some incredible places and some amazing adventures. Have you got any particular favorite bird encounter?
Well, for me is the how's it called in Senegal, and we were doing a recce in the Juji National Park, and with the sunset. So when the birds are all more active, and at a certain point, Axel was away with our tour guide, and I was near the cars looking at the sunset. And at a certain point, at a certain point, it was I heard this kind of trumpet like sound coming from the right to the left, and it was there was the black crane flying, two of them toward the sun, and 10 meters away was my car, and I was like, oh, I need to run to take the camera. I need to go. So I ran to take the camera, and I saw them flying around on the sun. Anyway, I took a picture, and it was amazing. For me, that is most beautiful one, because it's literally if I wasn't living in my car and going in these beautiful places, it's not possible for me to see this kind of moments, let's say.
Yeah, you really have to, special moments you'll never forget, I guess, and really cherish those that time.
Yeah, exactly.
You were there.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories of some of the most challenging environments and conditions trying to capture all this activity?
I think the most challenging was in Bandargan, wasn't it, Ario? In Mauritania.
There was a lot of. It was challenging for the timing and the conditions. But what do you think was difficult?
I guess after all these different habitats, like every time we had a different challenge, and I was just thinking about the Bandargan, just because we were literally in the middle of the Sahara Desert on the coast. It's the biggest. The Bandargan is the biggest migratory hotspot in West Africa, in Mauritania, and it's literally this huge bay that where the Sahara Desert just meets the Atlantic Ocean, and birds like bartle godwits fly from as far as eastern Siberia all the way just to go there. Dunlins, ring plovers, common ring plovers, whimbrels, all sorts of terns. And the problem there was that the challenge was to capture the movements of birds, because they literally do a murmuration with following the tide, not necessarily because of predators like starlings do in the UK, for example, but every time the tide comes up, the birds get pushed towards one place and they do all these murmurations, and they're absolutely amazing. So this was a bit challenging because, well, we arrived to the location. We were promised to have the filming permit straight away, and we didn't get it for 2 weeks. So we had to wait for 2 weeks for this filming permit. We couldn't film or record, and we were in the desert. Not, there was a fishing village a few kilometers down south, another one a few north, and there was a water well, like 15 kilometers away, but there was nothing else. So we just had like rice and tinned tuna for 3 weeks.
And no shower.
No showers.
Really?
Yeah, water is the most important thing. You gotta
You
save
need to
water.
save water.
Yes, yeah.
But we got amazing footage and recordings at the end, so it was worth it. But that was really challenging, personally. I don't know if Ario got another one.
Well, in Guinea-Bissau was on the island, or well, yeah, it was challenging because we forgot the coffee mocha. No, but it was challenging for other things. It was challenging for the activity because we were staying there for 4 days, and there was so much stuff to do and so much birds to see, and to capture everything, we have to stay there for a week and be 4 of us instead of 2. It was challenging to stay to keep running with the birds.
Any electricity or water, so we
Yeah,
had to bring our own water, and we had some power banks, some bigger power banks with solar panels to charge all the batteries. So also that was a bit challenging, but yeah, definitely was so much to record there. It was insane, amazing.
Extreme humidity.
Yes,
You really have to be prepared, with your equipment and things, don't you? So you get out to those places, and there's no way you can go, you just can't go and just charge your cameras up or whatever. Yeah, you really got to have some
or
preparation in place for that.
Yeah, if something breaks, you can't just like ask for an Amazon next day delivery.
Yeah.
Or even a
No,
shop.
exactly.
It's everything. That's why we built a lot of our equipment, battery systems. It's really like we make it our own with our own setup, so we can fix it in the field. Which is soldering irons and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Cool.
What about some of these locations you've been? Have you ever sort of felt in any kind of danger or anything? Have you ever thought we're in a situation here?
Well, I think south of Mauritania was the most challenging one. Overall, it was pretty cool. We got used to to normal moments of of fear. When the first time that we entered Morocco, we were scared all the time, every day for 2 weeks, and then afterwards we got used to it. But actually, the most dangerous one, I think, was when we were in south of Mauritania, in Jaouling National Park, just before entering the Senegal. And it's not renowned that close to borders, country borders, security and safety is a bit more. You need to keep your eyes and ears open. And backup plans in stage. So we were close to the border with Senegal. We were with a couple of friends, Antoine and Myrti. They are YouTube vloggers, Les Passagers d'Alizé. They're super cool. They made a little documentary about us, and we spent one night in the forest, the first green that we've seen after months in the desert. And we parked the cars, we set up everything. Dark was, it started getting darker, and we heard gunshots not far from us now, and we were like, oh, that's not great. But they were sounding like gunshots from hunters, not really automatic gunshots. So we were like, okay, cool, it's fine, let's wait for 5 minutes. If we keep hearing them and they come closer, let's go. Nothing happened. So we had dinner, lovely dinner. We were ready to go to bed, and then myself and Myrti, the girl, we see 3. It was really dark, pitch black. We see 3 head torches, like walking towards us in the forest, and we're like, oh, really? Okay, cool. I'm probably gonna come and check in, okay. And just 50 meters away from us, they just all 3 switched off all of a sudden. So we were like, okay, let's pack up and go. So we just packed up everything super quickly and just drove away. So that was the closest I think that we felt like, all right, cool. Safety is, we could possibly be in danger now. Let's go. So that was the most tricky one. Definitely, yeah.
Have you ever been stranded, or I mean, organizing the travel must be a complicated issue, getting to some of these locations and things. So, have you ever had any kind of disastrous travel experience, or has it gone pretty smoothly? Or
Smooth is definitely not smooth.
no?
Are you?
Well, multiple times we had problems, definitely breakdowns. On my car, for example, we're always in Mauritania. Mauritania was quite an impact on my car, and I broke both front and rear suspensions, and in the two different moments, and then I had a little thing near the suspension, the front right suspension, that it kind of like broke, and I had to, and I heard every time the sound of a tick tick every time there was a slight change in the pavement, well, the sand, and so we stopped and we fixed it ourselves with what we had, and the next day we went off again to the capital.
We literally fixed
That was nice.
we fixed a couple of nuts and washers in the middle of the desert ourselves with our own washers, and with hammering and stuff. That was proper. That was cool.
Thank God for Toyota. Thank God for
Toyota. Yeah, we have Toyota cars, just because we are not mechanics. We are learning, but they are the cars that can be fixed anywhere. My car is a pickup truck. It's a Hilux, and the back, the support of the back of the bed got completely corroded, and in Senegal, the back of the car started collapsing to the front of the car, so that I was going to lose my whole house at the back. So we had to go to a mechanic, and the mechanic, who literally took half of my car, they lifted it, they flipped it. I had to empty my whole car with everything in it, and they fixed the whole bottom. They welded the whole bed. It was absolutely crazy. They pulled it back on, and now it should be pretty solid. I mean, I haven't seen my car in 8 months, so we'll see. But that was also quite risky, because I could have lost the whole rear of the car literally while driving. So yeah, we had a few more of these ones, but we can keep going forever talking about disasters.
So when someone puts on one of the VR headsets, maybe they might realize the effort that's gone in to capture this footage. So what I bet you must see lots of people trying your experiences. What's some of the most memorable sort of reactions that you get when people put that headset on and sort of immerse themselves into the nature?
Well, I think one of the first ones that really stuck with us is a girl in Catalonia. A teenager girl, in around her 16, 17. She did the experience in Catalonia, in northeast of Spain. We did the experience for that area. At the end of the experience, she removed the headset, and I asked her, what was your favorite bird? And she's like, oh, I love the barn swallows. I mean, because Ari took some lovely pictures, videos of the nest of a barn swallow. And I was like, well, that nest is on top of the sinks where you are doing dishes every morning, because we were doing the experience in a camping site. And she's like, really? I'm like, yes, they're just up there. And for 3 days after we did the experience, every time we would see her, she would be like, oh, I saw the barn swallows again. I saw them again. And that for us was like, that made sense. That, that connection was we just amplified what's around people, and we just made this girl focus on the wildlife that she has in front of her eyes, but she didn't notice it before. And that's the thing that we want to do, help people to notice their wildlife in a fun, cool way. So we use technology to attract people towards us. They see the VR and the headsets and they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. The tech thing, and then they go through the experience, which we made really simple and easy. You tried it, and we use it as a way to engage with people and tell them about their local wildlife, and that was the best moment for me personally.
Yeah, the VR headset is a tool. We are using as a tool. We were not using as a gaming platform or whatever. We just use it for put it in the documentary and then showing to people as a tool. We don't want to sponsor the VR headset as a place where to stay permanently. We want to just show with technology something in an easier way, instead of projectors or screens, and in a more immersed situation.
I guess, yeah, sparking somebody's interest like that experience, I guess that's the whole goal, and what makes everything really sort of worth it and makes it really rewarding at the end with all the effort. Great.
Yeah.
In terms of, so obviously you're using some optical equipment out in the field and things, and we know you're using some of our core equipment. What gear do you take out with you on a typical expedition?
So we have don't remember precise the name, but the phone adapter for the telescope, and the Vario, the Vario that we were using last time with a telescope, with a Zeiss telescope. And the cool thing about the Vario is how solid it is and how precise. And literally, you put your phone on it, and it's not moving. It's precise, and you can carry everywhere. It's kind of like a phone cover. And it was really helpful, because a lot of the videos that we've done that for the VR experience, were impossible without that, because I can go much further with the zoom instead of with my camera. My Sony camera doesn't have the possibility of going that far, and it is amazing the precision that is carrying this equipment.
I guess with when you do put the smartphone on the end of the scope, it's, yeah, especially when you're trying to capture these moments, that's when the precision comes. It's all about speed, and it can be very frustrating, can't it? The kind of telephoto lengths that you're talking about when you put a phone on the end of a powerful spotting scope, it's quite tricky. You've got to get the alignment right, and any delays with putting the adapter onto the phone could be missed opportunities. So yeah, I think that was a good
completely.
One of the reasons why the smarter scope was a useful tool. And how are you finding I know it's early days yet, but I guess your next expedition will be when you take out the little compact 55 TSM 55 scope.
That's the reason why Ario is not. Maybe didn't remember the name, because I stole the Vario from him, because I'm gonna be on my own this time. So the project is the next expedition starting from Sierra Leone. It's called Sounds Across Continents, and I'm gonna go there on my own. Wings Across Continents was when we were together, and we stopped it because there was the wet season coming, and it wasn't really good to travel. And now I'm gonna go on my own and do more of a sound-based project, with integrating also pictures and videos that I find on the way. And I am mostly a sound person, but I learned, with Ario and Paul Hackett also, I'm learning the video side of things. I've been learning the video side of things, so I'm gonna I'm literally testing now the TSN 55A with the Vario, and yeah, I'm gonna take it out there. As you said, I want speed. I want to be fast. I want things to be there and that work, because that one thing that annoys me is when equipment doesn't work or breaks or doesn't fit well, and I need to get that shot. And it's not. I'm not filming actors or something like that. There is no script or a second take in wildlife. And yeah, so this compact optic is gonna be amazing, just to take it in my backpack. And usually, I have to when I go for a walk, I have to make a decision on which equipment to take. Should I take my big rig, my small rig, the parabolic, and with this little thing, and now I can just take it with me and put it, in the pocket even. So that's brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to play more with that.
Totally get that. I mean, go onto nature reserves, you see some of the size of these huge lenses and things and DSLR cameras, and yeah, it's especially with what you're doing. I mean, yeah, weight and portability is, I guess, really important to you. So I suppose that brings us nicely on to So the Wings Across Continents was that last year that you completed that? Was it 2024?
Yes, in March 2024. Yeah,
in March. So the Sounds Across Continents. Do you want to give us a little bit more detail on your next adventure?
Yeah. So Sounds Across Continents is going to start the 26th of November when I fly back to Sierra Leone. So I left my car there last April and flew back. So we spent a few months here working on all the stuff that we've been capturing over 2 years, which we're going to start releasing soon on our channels. And Sounds Across Continents is about following 7 different species of migratory birds along the East Atlantic Flyway. And what I'm interested into is their dialects. So birds, animals have also cultures, and their cultures can be also defined based on their dialects. Maybe not all the animals have their own distinct dialects, but these birds I'm following, they have some different sounds, and they could be regional even. So what I'm interested into is, am I going to find them down in West Africa? And if I find them, the dream is, can I recognize where they come from in Europe? And I'm going to create all sorts of stories about their sounds, the sounds that they find on their way of wildlife or the habitats that they go, and also music, because we found that music and stories of local people are so important. There are so many information there. So at the end of the month, instead of creating the VR and sound experience, I'm only going to create a sound experience, telling all these stories and making people aware of where these birds come from, why they come there. And yeah, hopefully I can let you know if a willow warbler comes from Scandinavia or from the UK at some point. That's the dream.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if everybody wants to follow your journey and find out more about your projects and things, where's the best place for people to go online to visit you?
Well, our website, soundingwild.com, and all our social media platforms at Sounding Wild. And the YouTube channel, we're going to start pushing the videos out. All the documentaries that we made, we're going to start releasing them there. So instead of being 360, we just made a version that is 2D, so easier to follow on a normal screen. And yeah, these are the spots really.
Do you have any plans to do any? Because like we met at Bird Fair and things like, do you have any plans to put it back on the road again, the experience?
Of course. Yeah, always. Always looking to take it, to bring it to people. And it's a timeless piece, it's not that we hope, we capture these moments and these stories, and we hope in a few years' time even to go back and see them again. And we hope that our experiences just, engage, help people understand how important their own wildlife are. We are aiming to take all these videos, also retranslate them to all the different languages of where we've been. So someone from Senegal can watch the documentary from Germany in Wolof, the local language. We just want to, we want to keep pushing out there to, bring some to help people notice their wildlife. Yeah, in our own way.
So thanks a lot, Axel and Ario, for your time today. Really interesting, and I can only say if anybody out there gets the chance to look at some of the work you produced and experience this virtual nature world, I highly recommend it. So check out Sounding Wild, soundingwild.com, and keep an eye on their latest adventure.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. Thank you so much.